Hello, class, and welcome to our presentation, The Life of Jesus of Nazareth, a Brief Account. So Jesus of Nazareth was born in the 1st century of the Common Era in the Roman province of Judea. And for our purposes, Judea is the name for the Roman-occupied Kingdom of Israel during Jesus' life and ministry. So as you may recall from the Judaism unit, the history of the Kingdom of Israel is one of continuous occupation by foreign powers. So during the life of Jesus, it is under occupation by the Romans. Therefore, Jesus is teaching within a Jewish context, but he's also teaching within a geographic area of great diversity containing both many different schools of Judaism. Many Greek and Roman philosophical schools are also present in the area, so it is quite a diverse and mixed group culturally, intellectually, and spiritually. And during Jesus' lifetime, there were several different Jewish schools of thought. The school of thought known as the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Essenes. And the Pharisees believed in the strict observance of the Jewish law. They acknowledged what is called the oral Torah tradition, and they believed in the concept of the final judgment and in an afterlife. The Sadducees also believed in the strict observance of the Jewish law, but they acknowledged strictly what is called the written Torah tradition, and they disbelieved in the judgment and the afterlife. And the Essenes were an ascetic group of Jews living in the community of Qumran who believed in the judgment and the afterlife. And you may have heard of the Essenes because it is this community that is believed to have produced the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, the two most important schools of thought to be aware of when understanding the life and ministry of Jesus would be the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because it is within the gospel text that Jesus is constantly debating with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Now, the primary sources containing Jesus' biographical information would be the four Gospels. The Gospel of Matthew, the Gospel of Mark, the Gospel of Luke, and the Gospel of John. And each Gospel is a unique account of Jesus' life and teachings. So this presentation is going to be kind of like a general synthesis of some of the major motifs that appear in all of four of the Gospels. So with that in mind, let's talk about the life of Jesus. So Jesus experienced a supernatural birth. According to the Gospel of Luke, the angel Gabriel visited Mary, the mother of Jesus, and said that she would give birth to Jesus without having relations with a man, so therefore Jesus would be the product of a virgin birth. And two of the gospel accounts, the Gospel of Luke and the Gospel of Matthew, both have accounts of the birth of Jesus. According to Luke's Gospel, when Jesus is born, 3 shepherds come to visit him. And the reason they know about him is because the shepherds are visited by the heavenly host of angels who tell them that the Messiah is being born. And in Matthew's Gospel, it is discussed that 3 magi, or 3 kind of holy men from the East, come to visit Jesus under the guidance of what is referred to as the Christmas star. Now, very little is known about the upbringing of Jesus in his childhood and adolescent years. We have a couple of stories from the Gospel of Luke, but all of the other Gospels are quite silent about it. But if there's one thing that all the different Gospels agree on is the following, is that probably the most important event in Jesus' early ministry is his baptism. That is, all 4 Gospels agree that Jesus was baptized by a figure named John the Baptist at the age of 30. And after Jesus is baptized, it is said that he is called by the Holy Spirit or led by the Holy Spirit into the wilderness so that he can experience temptation. So it is in the wilderness that he fasts for 40 days and 40 nights. And it is also in the wilderness that he is tempted by Satan or the devil. After overcoming the temptations in the wilderness for the 40 days and 40 nights, Jesus calls upon his 12 disciples, so he has a small gathering of students. And he then embarks on what is believed to be a 3-year mission. And a major part of that mission is that Jesus heals the sick, the lame, and the blind, that he exorcises demons. And there are a few instances where Jesus raises people from the dead, the most famous being the raising of Jairus' daughter and the raising of Lazarus. Jesus is also well known for conversing with sinners, or kind of the unsavory people of society, such as tax collectors and prostitutes. And Jesus is also a teacher, so he teaches through sermons and rather cryptic stories referred to as parables. And according to all 4 of the Gospels, in the final week of Jesus' life, he enters Jerusalem during the occasion of the Passover. And it is here that he directly challenges the higher Jewish authorities. It is also on the eve of Jesus' execution that he shares in what is called the Last Supper with his disciples. And it is on that same night that Jesus is arrested. And the following day he is crucified by the Roman authorities. And after 3 days, Jesus is believed, according to the Gospels, to have been resurrected from the grave. And after he is resurrected, the Gospel accounts tell stories of various different post-resurrection appearances to his disciples and other followers. And after spending time with his disciples and other followers, it is written that Jesus ascended into heaven. And it is believed by Christians that Christ will return at some point in the future to judge the nations and bring about a new era of salvation.